Humans of the cardboard, my fight or flight response has just been triggered with 2 new Fiend Smith cards announced today, fully revealed. We have a new main deck monster and a new Link 3. I don't even know whether I'm going to fight or fly at this point, but I'm considering either. This engine's so scary. It's the new hottest engine in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like it's the best generic engine in the game that can apply to like a bunch of different decks. So I am scared to see this. I guess the one thing I could say here that I kind of hope this support kind of goes in the direction for is I do just kind of hope that if they're going to give Fiend Smith new support, I hope that it's more tailored around making it like a more well-rounded archetype on its own, rather than making like the generic engine itself even stronger. Because as it is, it needs no help. So we'll see. But let's get into this thing. I don't want to waste too much more time looking at the artwork here. Well, a not so Yu-Gi-Oh-esque artwork here for the main deck girl Fiend Smith, and then this guy looks just like the guy from Blood Blockade Battlefront, the guy who lives in that like blood buff beast. That's what he looks like to me. Anyway, let's get into this thing. First girl is Lacrima, the Scarlet Sorrow. She's a level 4 light fiend, of course, so also searchable off of the spell. Still light fiend, so you can make the Link 1 and so on. 1200 for the stats. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. This card is always treated as a Fiend Smith card. If you didn't notice, this does not say Fiend Smith in the name, but it's always treated as a Fiend Smith, so it's not a problem. You can only use its first 2 effects once per turn. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can send 1 Fiend Smith card from your deck to the graveyard, except for Lacrima, the Scarlet Sorrow. That's kind of interesting. It makes me think, like, what would I even be sending off of this, right? Like it's obviously it's Fiend Smith Engraver, but like, what else would you even ever want to send? Like, Tractus and the other spell and the Trap, they don't really do much Engrave. I could see sending another copy of Engraver just to put extra names in Grave, because the deck is all about like shuffling back stuff, but sure, if you don't already have access to Engraver, just getting him sent so that way he can reborn himself. Anyway, that can work. Also, a little bit weird, this engine seemed to be more tailored to making just their fusion monster and rank 6s. This is a 4, not a 6, so Chaos Angel maybe becomes a little easier to make in the engine, but that seems to be the main thing. And then second effect, during your opponent's turn, if this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, target a Fiend Smith Link monster in your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck, and if you do, special summon that monster. Interesting. Not sure exactly what the full utility of this effect is. The Link 1 and the Link 2 are fine. The problem is they don't really do anything on the opponent's turn, so reborning them on the opponent's turn doesn't really get you much, unless it's like, this is just kind of like even if they break your board, this does send you into your next turn with the monster on field kind of thing. I could see that maybe being a thing, like just putting the Link 1 on field so that way next turn you can just immediately tribute it to summon. Oh, that's what makes this card a little better, I guess. Maybe? Because you can summon this off the Link 1, yeah? And then this just sends your Fiend Smith Engraver. That could maybe be the angle they're going for. So you end up with just like an extra body. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, not a bad card overall. I just don't know the full utility. Also, we have a new Link 3 here, so her second effect, reborning a Link, maybe makes a lot more sense when we read this guy. We'll have to see. But yeah, not a bad card. I mean, she's just she's an Armageddon Knight for the archetype that also has extra utility in Grave. We'll just have to see on this last card. This is Fiend Smith Agnus Day? Okay. It's a Link 3 Light Fiend effect monster, of course. 1800 attack, so still pretty small for Link 3. Points bottom left, bottom right, and top. So yeah, up and then down left, down right. Classic for Link 3s. First effect, once per turn. Quick effect. So this is soft once per turn, it appears. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 non-Link Light Fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, equip this card to it as an equip spell with these effects. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the total Link ratings of the Link monsters cards equipped to it times 600, and if the equipped monster attacks the defense, there's a monster inflict piercing battle damage. Interesting. Okay, this isn't like, this doesn't do that much. I think we're pretty safe here overall. I was definitely terrified to read these cards. I do think these cards do read as cards that like do help round out Fiend Smith into more of like an actual archetype rather than just a generic engine that any deck can play. Because like they're not doing much here. I was really scared that this link through was going to be like a really powerful interruption, and that it was the type of interruption you could use and then reborn it off of Lacrima here, and then it would immediately come back and be another and then be an interruption again if it wasn't like hard once per turn. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. We seem to be fairly safe here. I do think these could be decent cards if we get like one more wave. But for right now, I still don't feel like these do quite enough to make Fiend Smith like a playable pure deck, for what it's worth. But other than that, like, you know, this isn't like a terrible card. This does allow you to get like very, very big monsters on field, right? Because this is times a link rating and it equips itself. So whatever you reborn off of this to summon, that's getting at least an 1800 buff just off of itself. Then if you equip the link 1, if you equip the link 2, this thing can be giving up to a 3600 buff pretty easily with piercing battle damage. Like, that's not nothing. There's no actual protection on it, but there's that at the very least. So pretty interesting. It makes it a little more interesting with like the fusion boss monster. Once you get, if like he gets outed or whatever and sent to grave, being able to reborn him and then equip this and more, like that thing's going to be huge with like a triple negate like on it. Like that thing could be kind of problematic, but other than that, I don't think it's too crazy, and you'd like already need him in grave anyway, so it's like not that crazy overall. All right, cool, fair enough. Thank you, Konami, for not making these new Fiend Smith cards like out of this world broken. Hopefully, honestly, hopefully they get another wave like this where it doesn't make the generic side of the deck all that crazy, but like maybe they'd actually be like a playable pure deck with one more wave of support. We'd have to wait and see. But all in all, like, these are fine. You know, these really don't take too much. Yeah, I think they're fine. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Is there any like specific interaction that I don't see yet? Because I obviously haven't been able to play Fiend Smith yet because it's not even out in the TCG. It's literally out like today and tomorrow, technically, for Nationals weekend and stuff like that. But let me know your overall thoughts here. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Is there anything like specifically interesting about these that I'm not picking up on that make them a lot more either scary or cool? I'd love to hear what you guys have to come up with there. But I'm out here for today. Thank you so much for watching as always, guys. As always, I will keep you posted on all things Yu-Gi-Oh! News. So if you are not subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss out when new cards drop and we cover them here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.